Now, Arise News correspondent Andy Omano is also covering the Anambra State Governorship election, and he joins us now for a report of what has been happening in the area he's covering. Hello, Andy. What updates do you have for us where you are?
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, viewers. We are still in Nnewi South. Nnewi South consisting of 7 local government areas. Nnewi South is the senatorial district, the local government area of the APC governorship candidate, the person of Nicholas Ukashuku, who just exercised his franchise at about 11:45 noon this afternoon. He's done that, and one very striking thing we have seen here, I should say, is the fact that a group of women who had exercised their franchise are still here waiting. And when we try to find out from them what is the issue, they said they want to wait until their ballot is counted before they leave, because they don't want to give chance at all. And I really would want to salute their tenacity, because the sun here is scorching, and they are here to make sure that their vote counts as it were. So far, so good. The voting process here has been smooth, except for 1 or 2 cases where we see will-be voters who are a little bit, who looked underage. And when we intervened, we were told that, no, listen, this young man and young lady, they are not underage. They are stunted in growth. In fact, the explanation for that was that one of them is not too good in health. He's been bad. He's a sickler, I should say. He's a sickler, and that is why he looks that stunted in growth. Even when we pose that same question to the APC governorship candidate, he did also say that under his watch, he don't think anything like that will happen until another of his agents came and also tried to give the details I just gave now, that one of the voters was stunted in growth and the other was just naturally not too big. But this is their first outing, as in they just attained the voting age of 18. And so this is the situation here. The voting is still ongoing. 1 or 2 other places we had visited before coming to this particular polling booth where we are having this live from. It was going well, but we saw a case of vote buying, I must confess, because people were voting somewhere. After voting, they take a walk to somewhere else and their palms are greased. I don't know if that is part of what it should be. For what we think, that is a clear case of vote buying. The same question we posed to one of the governorship candidates, who did say he condemned it in its entirety, and that anybody caught doing that should be made to face the full wrath of the law. Security-wise, we have a handful of police personnel in 1 or 2 places we visited. One had expected that since this is an off-cycle election, the entire state will be flooded with security operatives so that they can better monitor what is going on here. Because don't forget that this is the first test case for the new chairman of INEC, Professor George, what's his name, the surname there. The security here is not the security men we are seeing here, they are really not too much in number. But 1 or 2 places we visited also, we've not recorded any case of breach of security, I must confess. But outside, the electoral officers we spoke with, they had exercised reservation, that they had wished that they had 1 or 2 policemen around them so that they can do their job without any fear of molestation, as it were. So this is the situation, but I must also say that voting is still ongoing. Don't forget that this will not end until it is 4 o'clock, except for areas that voting did not start quite on time. We have 1 or 2 places like that, voting materials did not leave the rack center on time. And so what that presupposes is that voting may likely be extended from the 4 p.m. mark time that the exercise is supposed to be concluded.
Very good, Andy. If we cast our mind back about 4 years ago, I remember covering that in the studio, rather. But there was this issue of having not enough materials to cater for densely populated regions of Anambra. Back then, hopefully, INEC would have improved on that. So what is your own assessment? Were the logistics on ground enough for the voters where you are and other places you've been to regarding having enough materials, as it were?
Okay, of the 7 local government areas under Anambra South Senatorial District, this is the 5th local government area we visited between morning 6:37 that we set out from Oka, the state capital, and now. Yes, there are electoral materials in these places we visited, but what we noticed is the fact that in 1 or 2 rack centers, these electoral materials did not leave these centers as at when due. And you know when that happens, when they do leave after when they were expected to have left, that will cause some delay, as it were, and probably lead to some people being unable, I should say, to exercise their franchise. For voting materials, the areas we are covering, there are voting materials, but 1, 2, 3 places, rack centers, the materials did not leave these rack centers on time. Of course, you know very well that the rack center is a center where materials are distributed to the different wards and units for voters to be able to exercise their franchise.
Now, Andy, I'd like you to talk to us about how inclusive really this election is, and tell us about the measures that are in place to include participation from vulnerable groups, that is, people with disabilities.
Thank you so much for that question. Should I use the word regrettably? Regrettably, I have really not seen an appreciable number of people with disabilities in the area, again, that this team of Arise News is covering, Anambra South precisely, with 7 local government areas. And so if we have not seen, and we've traversed about 5 of the 7 local government areas, what that means is that their inclusion, their participation rather, is not too evident. And if their participation is not evident, is a function of 1, 2, 3 things, a function of the fact that there was not enough publicity, a function of the fact that they were not able to move them. You know, they have challenges with movement. They were not able to move them from where they are to where they were ordinarily supposed to exercise their franchise. I think going forward is something that the electoral body and all those concerned need to give serious attention so that we don't consistently, whether in the main or off-cycle election, as we have in Anambra today, this set of very important Nigerians are disenfranchised. Remember Jake Epele, people with disabilities, and yes, people with disabilities is one person who is championing the cause of this set of Nigerians who ordinarily are Nigerians, more Nigerians than even those who are able-bodied. Because what ties us is the fact that we all are Nigerians, and no set of people, no matter their health condition, should be discriminated against in terms of voting when it comes to elections.
Indeed, Andy. And, let's cast your mind back earlier on. The reports we're getting from Anambra is that generally there seems to be some form of calm in the election so far. Why do you think that is? There's less violence, despite some agitations before the elections that, people might disrupt it for one reason or the other. But what are your thoughts? And we're seeing some kind of resolute commitment on the part of the people themselves to exercise their franchise in these elections. What do you make of it?
Well, thanks. I think the people are determined. The people want to elect a leader who will be able to affect them positively, who will be able to, there's a language Nigerian politicians use, push to them the dividends of democracy, whatever that means. But the people we've seen here have been on ground with this team, my team, I should say, for the past 2 days. And everybody we've had the opportunity of interacting with, the refrain has always been that they want to vote somebody who can touch Ndi Anambra And in Anambra, I'm not an Igbo person, but the way I understood it to mean is that people who are of Anambra descent, people who are of Anambra origin, people who they don't care about the political party. All they are yearning for is a leader who would occupy government house in Oka and affect people across political line. I think that has been their resolve, and that is why they are determined to vote and make sure that their vote counts. Like you rightly said, and like I had mentioned in my first outing, I did mention it that security-wise, there is calm. There is calm. I would not want to use the word uneasy calm. There is calm. Even in flagship local government areas like Ihiala, also in this same Anambra South Senatorial District. As at the time we were there, everything was going on accordingly. So I think, again, is the determination of the people to be able to vote who they want to govern them in the next 4 years in Anambra State.
Well, our correspondent Andy Omano reporting from Unewi South. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.